Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Slow-moving storms are crossing the state, and right now we are keeping an eye on several flash flood warnings. So let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel. She's tracking the threat tonight for us. Paige?
Yeah, Steve, the main threat really right now that we're really keeping a close eye on is Rockcastle. That's where we're starting to get reports in of some flash flooding in that area. You'll notice this is a loop over the past 2 hours. Good news is that you do see that storm's dying down, but really over the past 2 hours, Rockcastle County has seen just heavy rain constantly pouring in on them. That includes Mount Vernon as well, but though really the area we're keeping a very, very close eye on is Broadhead. We've already gotten several reports from that area of water and residents and businesses. There's also a swift rescue ongoing on Highway 1505. We also just got a report in of water at a trailer park up near the trailers. There was a picture of that was supposedly confirmed by a spotter. And also creeks are starting to get out of banks, which are making some smaller roads impassable and even submerging some vehicles. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on this area and definitely this community over the next several hours. We also have another flash flood warning. This includes parts of Pike County, especially southern Floyd County, into parts of Letcher County as well. This does not include the city of Pikeville right now, but you can see just outside of that. We haven't gotten many reports over there. We've had a few flooded roadways here and there, but haven't seen a lot of reports coming out of there quite yet, but definitely keep an eye on that area as well. So this is over the past hour. Check out just how slow these showers and storms are moving through some areas, and we're definitely keeping an eye on Wayne County. We saw there's an aerial flood warning there just moments ago, and that one goes until about 8:30 tonight as well. So we are going to continue to see those showers and storms as we head into the overnight hours. And really over the next couple of days, flooding could be the threat as we head into the weekend as well. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes. Steve.
All right, Paige, thank you. We want to go now to some breaking news out of Whitley County. A crash has shut down the northbound lanes of Interstate 75 at mile marker 4. That's just north of the Tennessee line. Right now, it's unclear exactly what happened. We do know commercial vehicle enforcement is in charge of the investigation. Officials have not told us how many vehicles are involved or if anyone is hurt. We're working to gather more information. You can keep up to date on this at WYMT.com or on the WYMT News app. Tonight, jurors sit in a Perry County courtroom listening to testimony in a murder trial. They will decide whether to convict Harold Hayes. Here he is. Prosecutors want to prove Hayes shot and killed Terry Stidham last August in the Combs community. Earlier, jurors heard a phone call made by Harold Hayes. In that call, a man believed to be Hayes admits to the crime while lashing out at a woman for telling police what he had done. Investigators say they found surveillance video of Hayes purchasing the same kind of ammunition that was used to kill Terry Stidham prior to the shooting. The defense is pointing to several discrepancies in the evidence, saying some of it was not described the same way as it was eventually logged. For Stidham's family, they say they're just hoping for justice, but admit that the pain of losing their loved one will likely never go away.
There's not going to be no closure for us. When you lose a child, there's no closure. But we're here fighting to try to keep another family from going through the pain and the agony that we've experienced.
And testimony is still going on in the trial, even in this late hour. There is no indication as to how many more witnesses or evidence will be presented to the jury. We do have our Justin Case in the courtroom, and we'll share any breaking developments with you. And of course, he'll have a full report tonight at 11. A Pulaski County man who pleaded guilty to killing another man and attacking 2 women with a machete found out how long he will spend in prison. The attack happened in July 2017 in Somerset. In court today, Cody Hall's attorney read an apology letter addressed to the victim's family. The judge sentenced him to 23 years in prison. That's what the jury recommended. The family says they are grateful that they won't have to suffer through the trial process.
I just hope that each person that was harmed in any way by me will be able to someday find peace.
I'm just glad that he said he was sorry. Yeah. I just hope that it wasn't just a statement that he really meant it.
The Commonwealth's attorney said Hall was high on meth at the time of the attack. Investigators in Wise County, Virginia believe a man killed his 7-week-old child. This is Nicholas Logan Plaster. He is 21 years old. Investigators say Plaster's child was taken to Mountain View Hospital unresponsive and later pronounced dead. An autopsy revealed the child died from head trauma. Plaster faces murder and child abuse charges. A state audit out today says the Owsley County Clerk's Office owes county agencies a total of $120,000. The auditor is passing the results along to the State Attorney General's office. The audit of the 2015 fee account says Owsley County Clerk Shanna Oliver did not turn in reports to the Department for Local Government. It also accuses the clerk of not presenting a budget to the fiscal court. The audit says the clerk only reconciled accounts for 2 months and that government agencies are owed a total of $122,000. In the audit, the clerk had no response for the many comments the auditor made. Concerned citizens calling about possible drug activity in their community led the Laurel County Sheriff's Office to a home housing a convicted felon and his 87 guns. WIMT's Taylor Upchurch talked to that man, Donald Jones, who now sits behind bars.
Responding to a complaint on East Highway 1223 near London, police say they found more than drugs.
I don't know if I had any guns in the house. I said I might have 2 or 3.
That 2 or 3 quickly jumped to 87 weapons inside Donald Jones's home.
Handguns, long guns, shotguns.
Of the lot, 2 were reported stolen. Police feel after an extensive investigation, even more will end up on that list. Jones says he's been collecting and buying guns since he was 19 years old, but never knew any were stolen.
No, I've asked everybody I bought any off of it, he stole. They always tell me no. You know how that goes.
Police say deputies also found a large amount of money and marijuana stuffed inside the home.
Stems, all it was. They made a big deal out of it.
Police arrested Jones and 4 others parked in his driveway. Police say Eddie Wilburn, Kirsten Swainer, Heather Sizemore, and Robin Weaver all appeared to be under the influence. The possible reason for several guns became clear.
With our drug dealers is that they generally will take in stolen property, including weapons, to trade for drugs.
Thankful for teamwork between deputies and citizens. In Laurel County, Taylor Upchurch, WIMT Mountain News.
Jones is charged with possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, receiving stolen property, and marijuana trafficking. The other 4 arrested face DUI charges. In Whitley County, several people are facing drug-related charges after traffic stops. The Whitley County Sheriff's Department says they arrested Angela Seiler after finding meth and other drug paraphernalia. Later in the evening, Kelly Ward, Terry Mullis, and Shane Gray were all arrested. They were also found with drugs. All 4 are facing possession charges. Sheriff's deputies say these arrests were targeted at high drug trafficking areas. Family and friends of Robin Holbrook gathered together today to remember his legacy. Holbrook died last week, bringing out a wave of support from those who knew him. He worked as a physician assistant at the Eula Hall Health Center in Grethel for almost 30 years, building up a community of people who say they will never forget him. Coworkers say Holbrook put his all into the job.
It just wasn't a job for him. It was a passion.
We'll have more on Holbrook's impact tonight at 11. Weeks after Kentucky's primary election, the results have yet to be certified. Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes says it is because of a new state law. The measure passed earlier this year took away Secretary Grimes' powers in the State Board of Elections. That and errors Grimes says she found in election results has led to a war of words between her and Senate Majority Floor Leader Damon Thayer. Hillary Thornton has more.
Today, I question what's happening at the State Board of Elections.
The state's chief election officer explaining that she's lost confidence in the group in recent months. It is a group she used to have authority over until the passage of House Bill 114.
Right now, at the State Board of Elections, we have a ship without a captain.
She blames that on what she says is chaos surrounding the integrity of elections that she believes ultimately led to the board being unable to certify primary results on Tuesday.
It was embarrassing. Never before has the State Board of Elections convened and had a report set before it for certification that had errors, let alone 50-plus errors in 20-plus counties.
She fears those vote totals with errors came close to being certified had she not stepped in voicing concerns.
There are shenanigans going on in our current Secretary of State office.
Senator Damon Thayer, who sponsored the newly enacted measure, says the fact remains Grimes is still the chief election officer and that she should do her job and stop playing political games.
Bless his heart. Who would have thought we'd see a day where a Democrat would be more worried about ensuring a Republican and the Republican Party had accurate vote totals than its own leadership. Right now, I'm cleaning up Senator Thayer's mess.
However, Senator Thayer is saying this is absolutely not his mess or the result of House Bill 114.
It's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. She doesn't like the fact that the General Assembly, in its role as the lawmaking body in Kentucky, changed the job description for the Secretary of State.
Grimes, though, says the chaos is real, the errors are real, and her fear is real that voters will lose confidence that their votes are counted correctly.
Oversight is needed.
In Frankfort, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
A group of bipartisan county clerks says that Grimes is exaggerating the situation and that discrepancies get caught and fixed after each election. There is a specially called Board of Elections meeting tomorrow, and Grimes says hopefully the results will be certified then. Governor Bevin is trying to strike up support to a revised version of his pension relief bill. In a letter to lawmakers, he specifically goes through 4 changes made to the proposal. Some of his changes include giving agencies until next April to decide whether or not they want to stay with the Kentucky retirement system. This would give those groups time to consider any changes that could happen during next year's legislative session. Lawmakers have until the end of the month to find middle ground. More than 5,000 water customers in Floyd County will soon pay much more for services. Officials with the Kentucky Public Service Commission announced a new flat rate of $58.82 for customers of the Southern Water District. That is a 42% rate increase for an average customer. The Public Service Commission says the rate increase is necessary to prevent Southern Water from going under.
And showers and storms continue to pop up across the area, slowly moving through the mountains, just creating some localized flooding issues. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes.
But first, it is a day etched in the history books, and we have lost so many who lived it. A World War II veteran revisits D-Day 75 years later.